So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, etc. Bob here. Welcome back to a retrospective. Haven't done one of these in God knows how long. So, first of all, what you're wondering, if you're wondering about it, what you're seeing on screen right now is my little excursion to get to Super Saiyan 3 rank in FighterZ. And I think I did pretty good. So this is going to be playing in the background while I am talking in case you need a visual stimulus or you just want a podcast to sit out with me talking. Either way, it's totally cool. I just think I did pretty good as replay. Anyway, so yeah, no. I started doing these a few years ago, back when these series were so small comparatively that I could get through them in a relatively decent amount of time. They didn't take forever. Not like Storm games or even to a lesser extent Tenkaichi games. No, just Budokai 1 through 3. So, yeah, it's crazy to think that this is the first series of games I've actually completed like the whole entirety of since like GNT. That's kind of weird to think actually. So, where do I really begin with this? Budokai has such a rooted history in the American Western audience for Dragon Ball Z games. Like, yeah, so many of my friends, when I talk to them, they just talk about, yeah, man, Budokai 3 was the best Dragon Ball Z game. Everything else was crap by comparison. And then I inquire if they played any of them, and they didn't. So, yeah, it's wonderful generalization there. Man, if I can just sit them down and get them to play like Tenkaichi 3 or Shin Budokai, I think they'd probably have a different outlook on that. But hey, that's just me. I only play these games like on the regular or something, whatever. So, I guess we should just kind of start from my own personal history, since this is a retrospective of like how I came to the series. So, let's see, Budokai 3. Let's see. Well, first of all, I started with Tenkaichi 2 back in like 2007 when I first got my Wii. And then I think I jumped to Budokai 3 because Tenkaichi was too expensive. Tenkaichi 1 was kind of obsolete. And I remember Budokai 2 being hard to find, actually. It was the strangest thing. Like, Budokai 3 was super easy to track down. Budokai 2, not so much. I don't remember why that was, actually. It might have just been, like, limited print or something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I got the PS2 version of Budokai 2. Or, sorry, Budokai 3. And it was pretty fun. I didn't mind it so much, but I realized looking back that Budokai 3 is a much different game when you know the charge canceling mechanics versus when you don't know them. Because, like, when you're, like, late kid, early teenager, when you're playing these games, it's like, you're really just playing them more for, like, the story and, like, getting to relive these experiences. And then I realized that the most you could probably do for a combo in those old games is just, like, the pre-built strings going into the death moves, like the punch, 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 punch energy for the Kamehameha wave. Like, looking back, that's a boring-ass way to play, but it's not like the game really tells you, like, these advanced things either. So, I ultimately think that might have been the biggest flaw in Budokai in the long run, was just not telling you anything at all about, like, these deep-ass mechanics in advance. But, I mean, I guess it's not like Spike expected anyone to take these games too seriously. It just kind of blossomed like that. It's kind of I imagine it's kind of similar to how, like, people saw Smash Brothers. Yeah, it's got tremendous depth, but it's not like anyone actually expected you to play it that much. Like, holy shit. Which is bizarre, because when, you know, naturally, like, when someone really enjoys a franchise, they're going to want to try getting good at it. And that's going to instigate competition among other people. Friendly competition. Doesn't have to be, you know, like, having a level of animosity or anything, but it does spring up, and as a result, like, people start facing each other, and then it gets more serious, like money matches, and then it gets more serious with like tournaments that like draw people in because it's really high level players, or really like the top players just coming together and having fun. Well, it sometimes for fun, most of the time it's like you're either out to make a statement or like you're there to just sit down and just make a buck. Like, it really depends. Like, I'm not a tournament goer, so I couldn't say. I'm probably close to that level. Like, for back in the day for Tekken, or these days for FighterZ, I'm probably close to that area to compete, but I don't think so. Anyway, that's getting off topic. So, Budokai 3, like, I really shouldn't give, like, critiques of these games, like, until I start getting, like, through my experiences with them. But yeah, I had Budokai 3. It was cool. I managed to get to 100% completion of the game. Actually, I did get all of the ultimates. That's something I still don't understand. Why the hell does every ultimate of the game cost, like, 50,000, Zenny? That is so absurd, because you have to keep beating the tournament mode on advanced difficulty every single fucking time. I don't... That doesn't register for me. Like, why would you even bother doing that? And not just make it a lot easier? This is, one of the reasons I'm looking forward very much to Infinite World, because Infinite World just streamlines the hell out of Budokai 3. But that's a later endeavor. We're gonna get to that. So, yeah, that's the thing. So that happened. I don't think. Oh god, when the hell did I get Budokai 1? I've had Budokai 1 for a while, probably since I was like 17 or 18. But I didn't touch the game for the first time until shortly before I first Let's Played it, and that's an old Let's Play by now. Like, I want to say 2014 or 2015. That's back when Bob was still like kind of quiet, trying to be respectful of his parents, like walk around the house. Now I don't really care because I know how to regulate my voice, but it's just like, wow. I tried going back and rewatching the first video for my Let's Play Budokai 1. I'm just like, damn. I've come so much farther with how I'm able to project my voice. But, yeah. And then later on, I got into Budokai 2. I feel like I might have played Budokai 2 once before that. It's weird to describe, but anyway. There's actually one other thing I do want to talk about. So, I did research into this, and I fucking found it. I can't wait so I can go visit my dad again, so I can go find this in his damn DVD collection for DBZ. So, I mentioned this a few times before, and I thought it was back in the Namek Saga, but it wasn't. Funimation, like, back in the day, they contracted out, I guess, like, a video game guide making company or something. It wasn't Prima, and it wasn't IGN either. It was like this weird ass like offshoot company that was trying to make like interactive DVD guides or something for various games or something, and one of them was Budokai 2. And apparently one of the GT original single DVDs from Funimation is a demo for one of these guides. And I guess there was just enough space on the DVD for that one thing. And it's the most bizarre thing, because that's the only thing like it I've ever seen. There was a name for it. I don't remember what the hell it is offhand. If I were to go dig for it, I could probably track it down. But it was like the only one of its kind. And eventually I want to go dig it up. But it's a thing that exists. So maybe that's what makes me think I played Budokai 2 beforehand, but that was technically my first exposure to Budokai 2, the Budokai series. That's also how I first figured out there was Budokai games in general, or Dragon Ball Z had video games, because I didn't learn about that proper until like I was 13. I moved out to Arizona because of stuff. I'm not going to get too into detail about it, but I got my own internet access, and I was like, oh wow, they make games for Dragon Ball Z. Holy shit, okay, cool. Probably should have been more obvious because I had Lego Star Wars as a kid, but you know, details, whatever. So, going from there, yeah, this fucking DVD just had it in there, and it's the corniest thing ever, but it was surprisingly well made, although it covers like the supreme basics of the game. So I can't wait to get my hands on that, because that's going to be the funniest thing ever to just go through and be like, wow, this is extremely broad surface level coverage of a game. Sorry, throat's bothering me now. So, yeah, I guess with that out of the way, those are my general experiences with the games, or like my history with them. So, Budokai as a whole, Budokai 1, man. I feel like I did end up unlocking Great Saiyaman. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure I did. Let me just Take a quick swig of this here water while I'm talking. I ended up getting him. I feel like there was something in Budokai 1 I missed in my original playthrough. I don't remember, actually. It's still a damn shame that Zarbon and Dodoria never came back. I mean, like, yeah, objectively they probably didn't add much to the game, but it's like, or Android 19 also, but it's more like perspective of how much could have been added to the game overall. Like, yeah, you're probably not ultimately getting much overall by adding them back in, but it would have been nice. But man, just looking back at Budokai 1, like, fucking, what kind of game engine was this running on? It's this really weird, like, computer 3D program. It, like, if you were to point out to me, like, any anime game and tell me this was made in, like, Windows 98, you could point Budokai 1 to me and I believe you. Like, it just looks so dated by, like, any modern standards. It's just, how did this happen? This is so weird. I mean, like, it's not horrible. Looking back at some of the older Dragon Ball Z games, like, now that I've actually had access to them, like, it plays the best. It plays the best without question. Like, it's so much better than Final Bout, than Ultimate Battle 22. My AC is really roaring right now. It plays better than, I will probably say the Butoden games, but I haven't actually played those yet. I know someone's probably going to be rather cross with me about that statement, but no, it's true. I haven't played Butoden yet whatsoever. Eventually going to, but yeah. Anyway, it was definitely like, it's hard to tell like what this game was trying to do, because in terms of gameplay, like, it's still the only Dragon Ball Z game that has Rock to Dragon as its intro, and I can definitely tell that was done for the American release, and the original one probably had Chala Hechala plot for its intro, because, like, they have to loop Rock to Dragon during its own intro, and the animation is so slow compared to the music that it's definitely evidence that this might not have been what it was originally, like, what it was in Japan. Have I ever been curious enough to play Japanese version? No. Why would I? I mean, not like, unless it's something like supremely interesting that, like, I'm not gonna get to experience. Otherwise, I am kind of content. No, thank you. But yeah, no. It's also just weird going back to a Dragon Ball Z game where Super Saiyan Goku was like the height of his power. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it's just going back to it and just seeing Super Saiyan Goku have like 140% attack power. It's like, wow. This is perspective. Holy hell, dude. I mean, it probably works better in terms of like the power scaling, but still, it's really fucking bizarre. I also do miss how Kaioken did have like multiplying stacks on top of each other back then, like times 2, times 5, times 10. I think it got to times 20, and then you get to Super Saiyan, because that was essentially like a times 50 multiplier of your power level. That's just so weird to think about, and like, it's really charming in its own way. So I don't know, that's just me. Also, well, I guess I have Google Images pulled up. Like, one of the covers, what the hell cover is this? One of the covers for Budokai 1 looks really goddamn good. I'm not gonna bother adding this in because I don't think I need to, but it's this one with like a space theme in the background, Goku in the middle of it, and it's like this really sleek, like, Budokai text, like, below the Dragon Ball Z logo, and all the characters down the bottom of the screen. This is sick. This is real, apparently. I wonder if it was a Japanese version or something, because this looks damn good. Way better than the American version. Holy hell. But yeah, that's besides the point. It's just really weird, like, also going back to my old footage and looking at Budokai 1 and like, the way the physics just worked with itself. Attacks barely have punch to it. It looks like your characters are skating around when you're doing, like, charge cancel attacks, because it's so weird to think, like, I can't tell if Spike intended for charge moves to have, like, cancel opportunities, because it's never mentioned at all in, like, tutorials whatsoever. But I see the AI do it in Budokai 3 on Z3 difficulty. In fact, like, I've seen the AI do it, like, as low as like hard difficulty, and it's like, oh, he just did a charge cancel mix-up. Oh shit, okay. So it's really weird to think about because nowhere in the gameplay does it tell you that it exists. Sorry, I'm soaring a little bit now. But I don't know, dude. It's just the most bizarre fucking thing in the world because I don't know if this was intended. It's so weird. Like, if fucking, I mean, I know a few people pay attention to tutorials in these games anyway, but if this was advertised further, I am convinced for a fact that there would have been a more prominent, like, tournament scene for Budokai, like, period. I mean, it already kind of has one online through, like, PCSX2. In fact, I received a direct invitation for their Discord server from not one but two different people, so, you know, that's a thing. But I'm just convinced that they advertised that shit. That would have really put people on the map for it. If I could offer, like, an example from other games, Devil May Cry 3. So, I know I'm going off the rails with this one, but there's an example in there. So, in Devil May Cry 3, in the original version anyway, I don't know if this is in the HD versions. It most likely is, though. In the gallery mode, there's this thing called a Super Play movie, which essentially, like, it's a little demo from the developers that shows some, like, by their metrics anyway, some really dope combos. Again, when I say by their metrics, I mean, like, before the community really got their hands on it, and we're doing some really fast-paced weapons style switching in the game. Well, that game didn't have style switching, but just weapon switching in general and jump canceling. It's so, I mean, if Budokai had something like that, the developers knew that charge canceling was the thing, because they must have known about it by Budokai 3. They must have, because, like, YouTube was kind of a thing back then, or at least IGN was a thing. I know that for a fact. They had their own really weak but effective video player, so if they knew about it, they could have at least had a tutorial in the game, or like something in the game that showcased, like, hey, you can do some really sick shit by, like, tapping the guard button while you're charging a move, and it cancels the move, and you can do another move, and then you could just snowball from there and be like, oh my god, this is so cool. I don't know why I'm getting off topic with Budokai 3. I'm still talking about Budokai 1, but I'm so convinced that should have been a thing. But yeah, sorry, a little side rant. I'm just saying, in hindsight, being what it is, that could have really helped establish more of a scene back then among kids. But yeah, anyway, excuse me. What else? I remember Budokai 1 also had some really sick ass stages, like stuff that was incredibly unique. At least, like, not incredibly unique, but stuff that, like, stood out. Wait, was Mecha Frieza actually in Budokai 1? Huh. Or maybe it's a mod. I'm pretty sure it's a mod, because I don't remember him actually being in there. Weird as that is, but yeah. Like, it didn't have anything crazy. It had, like, I was going through Google Images right now, but it had, like, a canyon level, like a nice little grasslands level. Like, I mean, these don't have any major set pieces, but they just look nice. And for a fighting game, sometimes it's all you really need. Like, no visual noise or clutter. You got desert. Someone modded Super Saiyan 3 into Budokai 1, of course. I'm just kind of going off the rails right now, but yeah, no. I'm also convinced that, God, the fucking developers in Japan never seem to get the memo that their stuff's gonna sell more in the West than it does in Japan because there's more people in America than Japan. Like, I don't know if they ever got that memo sometimes, but it's just, like, I had a point with that. But, oh yeah, no, Keiji Yamamoto's soundtrack. If you bar the temporary release of GT Final Bout on the PS1, this was, like, Kenji's first real showcase of his music in America, which, you know, granted, he does really good covers of songs. God. I'm not gonna talk about that too much today, but yeah, that's oof. Okay. That was a lot of people's first exposures to his music, and consequently a lot of licensed music. But anyway, no, Kenji did. His music did bring a lot of life into the game, like, for sure. Even if it was all licensed stuff he was stealing, like, it still helped bring a lot of life into the games. And Budokai 1 Challengers, oh boy, that's some juicy stuff right there for damn sure. Yeah, that's boy. I need to replay Budokai 1 HD because I did a Let's Play, I think, on the PS2 version, and I know I platinumed the HD version, but I don't remember anything about the HD version, really. I know they did change the music, but I remember what they used. I mean, I've done a full Let's Play on the HD version for Budokai 3, so I'm aware of what changed in that one, but I mean, it's just kind of interesting to think about. I'm getting more coke. But yeah, no, Budokai 1 just in retrospect is just a hell of it's a hell of a thing, isn't it? I mean, it's not like I would say it's a bad game, like the usual massive label for its time, which, you always have to attach to these things because obviously, like, you can't just say blanket statement, it's good for its time, because it doesn't hold up nearly as well by today's standards. Like, it's overshadowed by Shin Budokai, BT2, BT3, Raging Blast 2 even, Xenoverse unfortunately, Budokai 3, FighterZ obviously. But for laying the groundwork, I don't know exactly like how much it took from older Dragon Ball Z games. Like, I'm pretty sure the punch combinations or like the input combinations for various super moves was already like a thing in one of the Butoden games. I know that for a fact, but I do know that Budokai did borrow a lot of elements from prior games. I think one of them might have been like in-battle transformations or something, because I remember that was a scarcity at some point. I don't remember when the hell it was though, but well, I'm certain FighterZ will catch up to that at some point. Not like it needs it, but just the concept will be kind of cool. Yeah, no, so Budokai 1, definitely like a relic of its time. Actually, no, it doesn't even look like it's good for its time. Like, Jak and Daxter came out, and now you have this game that looks like it's from Windows 98, but hey, it's just a thing. Actually, the more I look at it, the more it does look like a really up-res PS1 game. That is so bizarre, but I'm certain there's a story to that, like, development cycle-wise. I don't know. I didn't look at that whatsoever for this recording. I'm certain it's a thing somewhere, but anyway. Budokai 2. Good game. Very good game. Exceedingly good game. I would... God. Let's see. The hell is his name? Shit. One of the players that I do follow who is a big player of GNT4. Hippo, that was his name. Hippo. Fucker recently posted a death combo for Budokai 2 using Majin Vegeta. I'm like, wow, God. This game is so cool, but boy, is it an unbalanced mess, because if you get to your opponent's backside using a character and you know how to use that character, the opponent's dead. Like, completely, because there's no way to escape it. It's so easy to land in. Well, okay. I say easy, but I don't know how to do any of them, even though I know for a fact that you can do them. It just requires a few hours of practice, because execution and frame perfect input sometimes. When I'm in frame input, when I'm in frame perfect, just like really tight inputs that require really fast button inputs, I guess. That's the best way I could possibly put that. So, like, on one hand, Budokai 2 is still absolutely my favorite, because, like, graphically, it's... In my book, the graphics in Budokai 2 look the best. Like, period. Because it masters that cel-shaded look that none of the games otherwise really had, except for, like, Budokai 3 on the original PS2, and maybe Budokai 1 on the GameCube. I actually still gotta try that game. I never tried Budokai 1 on the GameCube before. I know they redid the graphics. I think they censored some stuff weirdly. I don't know. Nintendo, my guess. Anyway. In my book, though, Budokai 2 is still the one that got robbed the most, because it brought the most unique shit to the table. Like, what if fusions, entirely unique story mode. This was like the first game to really have like a what if story, or like a unique take on this take on the story, because Majin Frieza, Majin Cell, all the different Super Buu absorptions, the what if fusions. There was even like that one little some DLC codes that had not DLC codes. It's on disc in certain Japanese versions of the game. I think they're super rare these days, but like there's this one code that has like an Ultra Disc game for Frieza that's like one of his brothers or something. I don't remember what the hell it's about. Don't ask me about that. That's ancient history I haven't looked up in a long ass time, but no, Budokai 2 had a lot of creativity put into it, especially some of the stages. Holy shit, dude. There's like a floating temple that's a level. There's oh god, there's a really cool ass like what was that mountain called? Shit, I still haven't watched Dragon Ball, so I don't remember the name off. My mind goes to Drum Mountain, but I'm thinking that's One Piece I'm mixing it up with right now. Is it Muscle Tower? No. Is it Muscle Tower? It could. You know, this is bothering me now. Muscle Tower. Yes, it's Muscle Tower. Okay. There's a level in there that looks really fucking sick that has challenges playing in the background. It's so cool. Oh god, this game is like the game that has like the most amount of just fun put into it in my book. Budokai 3 polishes everything for the most part. Budokai 2 just feels like some artist just walked up to like some 2D like a painting that has like the most boring amount of like color put onto it. Just took some buckets of paint, just splash shit all over it. It's so cool. Like the way I look at it, it's just such like an enigma of Dragon Ball Z games. I still never actually got around to finishing what the hell's it called? Bobity's ship. That one mode where you can like grind out points in it and you can buy stuff. And you have to get like 100,000 Zeni or something in order to buy Subaru's what if absorptions. It's the most baffling thing in the world to me. I never did do that, and I said I would totally live stream that, but I haven't done it yet. So I guess that's a project for me at some point. Although at this point in time, I would just straight up emulate the game because I have a powerful enough computer that can record Budokai 2 at 1080p 60. Although, you know, just between OBS just randomly getting like spikes of CPU usage and the inaccuracies of emulation and the weird shit that they introduce, like. I'm still not a huge fan of emulating games, but I will definitely do it to showcase the graphics that are best of their capabilities. And if the original format is just difficult to just record, period. Case in point for me is like the newer Elgatos don't have component inputs or a component adapter, so you kind of are screwed there if you don't have access to that capability. So like PSPs are just going to be permanently recorded on emulator now. PS2 I'm still trying to work out. Some little issues for. Ooh, I can do something about that. Anyway, sorry. It's something that came to mind. Anyway, words. Well, words are being said, but not necessarily spoken. What were they? Oh yeah. So, I do want to say something fucking hilarious about Budokai 2, though. Budokai 2. So not only was it excluded in the Budokai HD collection, but there was a little, like, round table Funimation did a few months ago. Brandon definitely remembers this. I mentioned it to him explicitly. So, like, they did this thing where they were going through, like, they had, like, a Dragon Ball marathon of games. And they did, to roughly off the top of my head, they did Budokai 1, Budokai 3, Burst Limit, and FighterZ. And I'm just like, wow. You literally just skirted over Budokai 2 again. So now this has me definitely thinking, like, I'm not one for conspiracy theories at all, but I am one for connecting dots if they are readily accessible. So now I'm just like, okay, so there was a conscious decision to omit Budokai 2 from the HD collection. And now Funimation just skipped over Budokai 2 for their little live stream thing. What the hell is going on here? My mind is going towards either Toriyama doesn't like the material that Budokai 2 had, Toei Animation didn't like the material Budokai 2 had, or some legal shit involving Budokai 2. That's the only thing I could possibly think of, because legal shit is the reason why Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII hasn't gotten like a port to any PSN store yet. I could totally believe that like that someone in Toei Animation or Toriyama himself don't like some of the what-ifs, absorptions or fusions Like, maybe they're not a fan of Tiancha for some baffling reason. Maybe they don't like some of the other crazy shit the game does, which, I mean, it's understandable, but dude, you're the ones who made this in the first or they're not the ones who made it in the first place. It, like, I can imagine that it was probably Spike themselves, or was it Spike, or was it Atari? I don't remember offhand. Like, someone who made the game definitely probably, like, did it and didn't get the okay from Toei Animation to begin with, or maybe it's just such a departure with, like, Majin Frieza, Majin Cell. Imagine at least one of Majin in there besides Vegeta. Like, it's just baffling me because, I don't know, like, it's just unfortunate too because, like, Budokai 2 in my book still handles the best. Yeah, whatever. That's just more weird bullshit that you can easily trace that Namco, Toei, Toriyama, Atari, or no, not well. Actually, no. Namco doesn't own the rights to Budokai these days. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, that's the only thing that could possibly cut the mind for me offhand. Maybe I will eventually emulate Budokai 2 just to see how it looks, because god damn, does it look great. Like, even the screenshots I look at right now, like, god, this game does still look pretty good. Anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Let me roll it back just a little bit. Although, imagine not everyone's minding the podcast style this is going for. So, Budokai 2, I think people hate the story mode more than it actually deserves. Like, in all honesty, the game's story mode is still pretty cool. It's unusual that you actually have such an open free reign of just multiple characters in a story mode. Like, Budokai 2, you're super railroaded. Burst Limit, I know you're pretty railroaded because I haven't played the game yet, though. Raging Blast, you sure as hell are. I just like the option of playing as different characters in story mode, because it's like, oh, you don't like this one character? Just play someone else. Why not? Or someone you're good with or better with. Like, and you can learn them and get slowly better at the game. Like, you can play as, like, Vegeta at any point. You can play as Gohan in most instances. You can play as Goku, like, literally any time. Or if I'm mixed up, like, there's different other characters that show up too. Like, I'm pretty sure Trunks is in there also. So I'm like, yeah, it's just the fact that it's a chessboard isn't nearly the worst thing about it. Like, I feel like people just say that it's bad because, like, it looks bad, but they haven't actually played it before. It's really not the worst thing in the world. You know what the worst thing in the world is? Well, gameplay of Super Dragon Ball Z, Legacy of Goku 1. Nope. No, I'm just fucking Budokai 2 is the worst. Which is weird because I would actually much rather play Budokai 2's story in a lot of instances over Budokai 3's, because Budokai 3 is, like, while it does have a lot of cool, like, what if scenarios, like, or little flavor text that just gets thrown in every once in a while, they're so incoherent with a lot of its stuff, and it feels like a lot of things you do, like, are just, I don't know. I like being able to just choose who the hell I want and have like a modicum of strategy. Like, I can definitely tell that fucking Pro Jared, when he did his little Dragon Ball Z game retrospective, was just like, Budokai 2 is not in the collection because no one liked the story mode. Bullshit. It's really not that bad. I assure you it's not. Like, then again, he also went on to say that Sonic Adventure 2 was a complete shit show and it was a bad game. I'm like, only like 3 levels are bad. That's it. I don't know what the hell you're on about. Yeah, he can definitely tell he's a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Bandwagoner. That's it. Right. Game Grunt said something about a game. I'm gonna say it too. Fuck it. Boy. Sorry, I had a little Sonic conversation on my Discord last night, so that's why it's still fresh in my head. Anyway. Right, my point. What the hell was it going to be about again? Yeah, no, the story mode's just not that bad. Like, there's been far worse. I'm pretty damn sure that the reason it just wasn't in the collection was just because of time constraints. And being real, I'm pretty sure that, like, the reason they only did Budokai 1 and Budokai 3 is because they had a PS3 in the office, and, well, Budokai 2 is not in there, and knowing Quantumation, they probably just didn't bother to go get a GameCube or anything, even though they're really not expensive. hell, I own 2 just by complete accident. So, I mean, yeah, oopsie. And it's really, really easy to emulate. Then again, I'm pretty sure Funimation will get in trouble for modding a Wii U to play GameCube games on it. Maybe. That's just a possibility. Anyway. So, yeah. For my money, still some of the best music selection too in Budokai 2. Just hands down. Challengers on the best looking stage. The temple level having some really cool aesthetic. I remember it had a good song in it too. I don't remember much else beyond that offhand because it's been ages. Like, legitimately, I have not played Budokai 2 since the Let's Play. And if you've been around here an amount of time, the Let's Play has happened a long time ago. Like, 4 or 5 years, I think. I think I was trying to get straight from the Let's Play of that game right into, like, Budokai 3. And then my computer crashed. And that was bad. that sucked. But yeah. Do I have anything else to say about Budokai 2? Shit. I think Budokai 2 was definitely, like, the first impetus of, like, showing that the capsule system is really restrictive. Especially with, like, transformations. Because, you know, having multiple layers of Super Saiyan for Goku. I think it might have actually been the best one for Goku, funny enough, because yeah, Kaioken, Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 3. And that was it. In Budokai 1, he had all the layers of Kaioken and then Super Saiyan. In Budokai 3, Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 5 years, 7 slots right there, so fuck you. It's just not great trying to use Goku with his multiple transformations in a capacity. Man. That's why I debated on holding off on his retrospective until I did Infinite World, but I'm like, nah. Infinite World is much more like Shin Budokai than actual Budokai, even though it's structurally, it looks like Budokai, but you know details. Anyway, I don't know if I have much else to say about Budokai 2 than that. Like, it's the best looking game that structurally handles really well. Oh yeah, also not having Dragon Rush is fantastic, and also not. God, it strikes us a good balance, because, like, not everything you do in that game is tethered to, like, a command prompt. Like, you don't need access to a command melee from a range, so, like, that's cool. You have a plethora of, like, really cool-looking, like, death moves, especially, like, the Gatling attack ones. Those are just, like, fucking sick. The fist rush, like, the attack rushes. The ones where, like, the character just dive bombs on top of the opponent. Those look sick as hell. Most things that Budokai 2 is just such a well choreographed, choreographed game. That's what I'm looking for. It's just really cool. Yeah. God, I wish I could. Now here I am just talking myself into emulating Budokai 2 because it's so goddamn fun. I know that I'm gonna get a good amount of mileage out of trying to do the grinding for the game. Fuck. A minute later, when I'm not optimizing my time for just doing post commentary for. You know, this while everyone's gone out of the house. So I guess now we get to the man of the hour, Budokai 3. Oh boy, this game. Yeah, so if I could say nothing else, I guess my opinion on Budokai 3 has softened a bit after I did my Let's Play, because somehow I accidentally took myself from being able to play on normal and hard difficulty all the way up to Z3. And I guess that's probably more of like my age showing, because like I got good at Tekken, I gotten pretty good at fighters, and I've gotten pretty good at other fighting games. So going back to Budokai 3 and just realizing like what all the ins and outs are and just how to play safe, I guess that was really like the catalyst for, you know, get like developing better footsies in the game, just better control overall. I feel like that was probably like the catalyst for that, and I do have an appreciation for it after I've learned like how it really like handles well, or like the ways to handle the game decently. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, also shoutouts while I'm looking at these Google image results to like the old ass screenshots from IGN for like. Fucking way back when for 2005 with the pre-release stuff that was like 240p, if even. It might have been 140 or some shit. I don't even know. It looks terrible. Ah man, everyone, the kids these days have it easy with the 4K. Back then we had our potato pictures and that was it. So, yeah, anyway. Budokai 3, God. Again, I do feel like a softened my opinion a bit for the game because of the Let's Play. It's obvious though that the more you really sit down and play the game, like there's a lot like missing from the game substantively. Like, obviously, I'm gonna keep saying it. Trunks, not in the game, despite being present in, the Boo Saga, being a very prominent character in the Android Saga, and to a lesser extent also being present in GT. Yeah, that's a big omission, as well as the fact that I've been researching and there is clear data in the game for a playable Bulma, Zarbon, Dodoria, and 19 being back in the game. Hell, even there's even code for Frieza's little hovering chair to be being able to be used on the overworld, and just flying around it. So it's dude, being able to play as Frieza in his own story mode, hell yeah, fucking take a million of that over Oob, Broly, Tien, Yamcha, even Kid Gohan to an extent. Yeah, I would take that. Fuck yeah. Fresh perspectives and all that, but then, God, I think I've already mentioned this before, but it's just such a wild coincidence that Broly was absolutely absent from every single Dragon Ball Z game, period, from the SNES and the old Butono games up until Budokai 3. It just so happens that Legendary Super Saiyan Broly came out in the States a little bit before Budokai 3. Wild coincidence there, ain't it? Excuse me. But yeah, that's a bit fucking wild. And well, look at this. Broly also has his own story mode. Odd. Anyway, yeah, no. Where do I start with Budokai 3 that I haven't already said in the Let's Play? Goddamn. I mean, stuff that's developed with me with the game after editing it. Well, I just feel like so it's the more I look back at the game, or at least the HD collection, the more it's obvious that this game, that the HD collection was definitely hella rushed, with all of the bugs and everything. And the more you look at the game itself, the more you realize that it's definitely a buggy mess. Not the HD collection, the original version, because there's a bunch of stuff that just wow, that's kind of funky. Actually, no, I will say something. Was it Toguro on my Discord? It might have been Toguro. That's my first meeting guess. He pointed me to some pre-release footage of Budokai 3 that actually looks a lot better than the game proper, because Super Saiyan Broly he starts in legendary form, because, I mean, who the fuck stays in base form, in regular Super Saiyan with Broly? Come on, really. He starts transformed, and he has a regular Super Saiyan aura, which immediately looks better, in my book. The game was a little more cel-shaded, which looks great. The Dragon Rushes are so much fast. That's the big one for me. The Dragon Rushes are so much faster. It's much more reminiscent of the old, button face prompt commands or interaction sequences from Budokai 2, with the one super attack where you dive out of the air and then you spike your opponent and they have a chance of escaping by pressing one of the face buttons. It reminds me of that kind of speed, and that's just oh god, it's so connected and so fast, it's so cool again, holy shit. As opposed to now where it's you have 5 whole seconds between each one. It's no, keep me on my feet. I want to be constantly thinking, god damn it. Yeah, the pre-release footage just looks so much better than the post-launch game. I'm so sad about that, but yeah. Oh boy. I guess there's also the modding community I need to get into as well. I'm still sitting on a list of mods that someone sent me for Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I can tell for a fact that if I were to start doing that, I would probably get a lot of views, because boy, what was his name? Kinikuchu? No, that might have been one of my followers, but he has a very similar name on YouTube. just posts the most baffling fucking monster Budokai Tenkaichi 3 ever, and they get like millions of views. Holy shit, dude. Okay. Yeah, I remember when Xenoverse mods started becoming a thing too. They were huge. Various Storm mods back in the day were huge on YouTube. I'm just like, God, I am missing out on so many potential subscribers by not doing these. But conversely, I also need time to do them and need to learn how to do them. And that's a process in itself. And I'm not quite willing to commit to that just yet. Anyway. Oh boy. What else? Budokai 3. I will say the community is pretty chill. The competitive community for Budokai 3 is abnormally chill, actually. Like, I've gotten some bitch comments before for my tier list video because, I mean, yeah, I knew that I was going to get someone upset when I put Goku higher than Vegeta. Like a full tier higher than Vegeta. Even though, at the time, I perceived it as Vegeta's short limbs make him hard to do stuff, and doesn't really have tools that Goku doesn't already have. Even though Vegeta has a hell of a tick throw set up, and I didn't realize that at the time. So, oopsie. I need more of this drink over here. My throat's giving out on me. There we go. Okay, so I guess I also do want to say that Budokai 3 really started like a lot of stuff for me. Like, not in terms of the game itself, but like the online community, because fucking hell, I mean, Omega2040, one of his earlier videos was a top 10, like a top, was it top 10? Yeah, that was top 10 for the ultimate attacks in like Infinite World, although really just, you know, Budokai 3. One of the first YouTube videos I ever watched back in the day was Still Gaming's review of Budokai 3. And boy, howdy, going back to that and just looking at it, I'm like, wow. People did in fact know about charge canceling combos in 2005. Or, no, that might have been 07, I think. Because that video was in like 240p. So, god fucking damn. Back when people recorded these playthroughs or record gameplay footage with like DVD burners. They did that, by the way. Yes, that was an actual thing. I know Clement J642 did the same thing back in the day before the invention of the capture card. Can you imagine having to do that? Like, burning DVDs in order to capture game footage and then copying it to your computer? God, that must have been such a pain in the ass. I kind of just started with the with Pinnacle and just immediately went to the Elgato, and it was just like, wow, I do not want to have to skip anything in the meantime. That was just, holy shit, dude. That was great. Yeah, no, I know people did that all the time back in the day. That was crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Budokai 3's community did more for me than anything else, if nothing else. Underworld Tico, or Overlord Tico, I don't know what the hell his username is. Like, he has different channels, different names. I'm just gonna call him Tico. Fuck it. Despite the fact that he hasn't posted anything in fucking ages on either of his channels, I don't think. He probably got a real job. You know, he could easily be making money on YouTube, but hey, that's just me. Anyway, sorry. Oh, boy. Sentimentality City here. He also posted, like, when Budokai 3 HD collections, or Budokai 3 HD collection. Well, let's be real here. People really just bought the HD collection for Budokai 3. Let's not be around the bush with this one. Like, just completely gnarly. When the HD collection first came out, he was one of the few people making quality content for that game. Like, he was posting combos for the game. He was catching everyone up with a competitive scene, and then afterwards, like, everyone migrates to online so they can do actual, like, competitive online matches. Because, I mean, I guess the idea, well, considering the short turnaround time, 6 months, I can still believe that, of the HD collection, I guess it wouldn't have been enough time to set up, like, online net play, which, I mean, like, yeah, I guess so, but what the hell else was going on for, you know, Bandai at the time? Fucking Battle of Z with getting their servers hacked. Oh no, we need to have time for that. Oh boy. So yeah, the game really does have a legacy value for me. I will not deny it the slightest. I did start with Tenkaichi 2, but I feel like Budokai 3 overall might have had a bigger effect on me as a whole. Strange as that may sound, but I'm pretty sure it's true. I wish the game... God damn it. Fucking... Sorry, side thing. I despise how a lot of HD ports to the PS3 were just 720p because PS3 had fucking terrible architecture. Like, it had great architecture, like, in terms of, like, its computing power, because it can do some crazy shit. Look at God of War. But conversely, like, if you're not directly getting, like, the keys to the mansion from Sony, then you're left with specs that are just, like, worse than the Xbox 360. So I'm just like, God, imagine if we could have just got Budokai 3 in 1080p. That would have been fucking... It's not even that hard to do. Like, the game was already almost a decade old at that point. How fucking hard could it have been? But yeah, no. Just stuck with 720p, of course. I just think that it would have been really sick. A lot of people are doing 4K upscales these days, and I'm just like, why? You don't need to go nearly that high. Oh boy, let me take one more look at this drink before I continue. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just about it. I mean, there's not much that I can say about Budokai 3 I haven't already said. It's a bit of an overhyped game. It's still good, but it's definitely a bit overhyped, I would definitely say. Budokai 2 is still the best in my book. Budokai 1 is a relic, but it laid, like, the absolute, like, bottom foundation to build up on. Like, people say that, like, this game laid the groundwork. Dude, this game, like, set up, like, the fucking basement. Like, it didn't set up the groundwork. It set up, like, the fucking, like, tarmac. and then it built up. Like, Budokai 2 just... If you want, like, a comparison of that, like, Budokai 1 set up the fucking basement. Budokai 2 just, like, set up, like, a really, like, sick-looking tower. And then Budokai 3 kind of, like, did some weird shit to the tower, but it still became bigger, I guess. So, yeah. That's a weird comparison to make, or analogy, but it's the best I can do offhand. Am I looking at someone having emulated Persona on their fucking Android device? What the hell? Why would you do that? Anyway, sorry. I don't know if I have much more to say beyond that. Budokai's been... Like, it's been fun revisiting the games, and in some cases for me, getting to experience it for the first time. I know I probably spent a lot more time in these games than, like, 95% of the player base, but you know what? Someone's gotta fucking play it for YouTube, right? I'm not gonna say that the idea of redoing my old Let's Play of Budokai 1 has crossed my mind more than once since I have revisited my old Let's Play of it, but... Also realizing that it's one of my older games, it's like, yeah. Alright, I'm going to assume that it's been a decent amount of time in the replay for Budokai FighterZ by now. I'm probably out on the closing games to getting to Super Saiyan 3 rank. So, I guess after this I'm going to do a one for Shin Budokai, but that'll be much later, because no, I need... my throat's already kind of killing me right now. I need time to take a break. And we'll tackle... I'll get to Shin Budokai sometime. Oh, I might just hold off on that until I'm done with Infinite World, maybe? I don't know. Hard to say. I don't actually do these too often. The games I'm doing these days are too fucking big. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go take a break. And... I don't know when this is coming out. Is this coming out before or after my big surprise? It's hard to say. My upload schedule is just kind of all over the place because of files right now, so hard to really dictate. But yeah, see ya.